Okay, hi guys. Um, there's a scripture that said man proposes, God disposes. So my plan for the day is just getting changed moment by moment. So I'm going to share a video of a chat, like an opening chat I had with an online woman, musician, persona, called Yashi, who lives in Brighton, but comes from Hampstead. And she reached out to me and wants to do a Hampstead series. And sometimes it takes a while for disclosures to crystallize. But the thing she told me in the first chat we had, which I'm going to share with you now, I'm just going to try and edit out a phone number that she shared as we were talking. We did StreamYard. I'm familiar with Zoom, so we did StreamYard. So I have to edit out a phone number. But the thing that blew me away was that she said Ghislaine Maxwell recruited children from a yoga place in Hampstead. And yeah, I'll leave it. There are all sorts of connections we can make, both with hot yoga and I'm not gonna draw the connections for now. I'm just gonna share. And if I suddenly stop it, it's because I want to block somebody's phone number. And Yashi as well, thanks for reaching out in comments with your qualifications for editing, you know, to help me get a book. I've got about 5 books ready to publish, but the way publishing is today, unless you're a big name with a literary agent, you have to kind of create your own book, you know. And the reason I asked for 10,000, which looks like somebody's coming forward to invest in that, is because with a package, you have a ghostwriter who will spend hours and hours, because I'm very qualified like you, Yashi. I'm very qualified, a literary degree, and offered a professorship if I would go on and do a master's and all that kind of stuff. But because it's my own story, it activates all the DID and it just sends me into a tailspin. So it's taken me more than 10 years online just to document what I have thus far, and it's very scattered. But if, like, we could talk, but part of the 10,000, this is what I said, the minimum you can pay to this, they run Dragon's Den storytelling idea, which is where they subcontract out to a ghostwriter who will write your story, you know, in collaboration with you. But I think the original, the lowest range you could start with is 5,000 or 6,000. But then if you want to include photos, or if you want to go deeper, and because my story is very complex, probably like your own, but here's the thing you pay for. It's not just the putting it together as a book, it's the marketing. And this is where Anna Breeze has kept, well, no, she didn't work with Barbara O'Hare, but this is where certain publishers, ghostwriters, can keep their books, the ones they've cooperated with, at the top of the Amazon best-selling list for years. Like the ghostwriter that wrote for Barbara O'Hare has had 11 bestsellers on Amazon. So a lot of what you're paying for is not just the putting together of a book, it's the marketing, it's the linking in with Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all that kind of Shazam, all that online, how do you get a book out there kind of thing. But certainly we can talk about whether you know, I don't know how much you'd want to be paid and how much time you've got, and whether it will trigger you to share a story of MK Ultra and dissociation and drugging for memory loss. And, you know, I don't know how much our stories overlap at this stage, but for now, I'm just going to share our first connection. And sorry, it's taken me over a week. It's just, that's the level of backlog I'm working with all the time. So let's go. Share screen. Now let's find this email. Here it is. No, that's the first one. I want to find the actual one. Hampstead recording unlisted. That should be it. Let's see if this is it. Yeah, I think it is. This is Yashi from living in Brighton, but from Hampstead, and with a definite story to tell regarding the Hampstead case. She's actually spoken with Ella in the past. So let me just skip forward a bit. This is why I wanted to edit this. Let's skip forward to where we actually connect. Here we are, somewhere around here.
This is over.
Come on.
Not live, don't worry.
Oh,
Good, because I just put a bit of Slack one.
No, don't really make
So nice.
How nice to see you.
You too. Your background is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a real living tree.
I've got my bedroom is red, and I'm embarrassed because like red rooms have got such a bad rep. Do you know what I
They
mean?
have now. Yeah, it's all about the money, isn't it?
I know. And even
It's the grow lamps. These are grow lamps. You see, look, it's an actual marijuana plant with an actual little one next to it that's been cut, and it's medical, so it's got about 4% CBD in it, as well as the high levels of THC.
That's what I like. That's what I'd like to grow, real dark, you know.
Oh, I can send you seeds. It's not even illegal to buy seeds. You're totally allowed to grow. You're allowed to have seeds. But I think as long as you keep it under 3 plants, then there's no problem, especially if you're growing a medical one like I have some seeds I can send to you. I can even start you one.
It just to say, we do realise after a while that there's only half my face showing. I've never done StreamYard before.
Well, that was going to be my business, actually. Yeah.
I lived in Lanzarote 2 years, and out there it's legal. You can have 4 plants.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had a little balcony and everything, and I just never got it together.
It's hello, by the way, Angie. Is that your real name, isn't it?
Yeah, Angie.
Well, Angie, I have a 9% seed called Painkiller XL, and it's 9% CBD, 9% THC. So I have lots of seeds. That was. I spent a lot of money this year buying seeds and grow back.
And for those that aren't interested in medical marijuana, you can skip forward a bit. But this is a subject that it interests me, and I do think Abraham Christie's work is groundbreaking. And I did use cannabis paste for pain relief, and I did use cannabis oil with a cancer scare before surgery, very intensely for 5 weeks with green vegetable juicing when they thought I was dying, and you know, I recovered. So, but it's not something I've built into my daily lifestyle, and partly I think it's because I don't know about in America, but certainly in Europe, because corporations see that medical marijuana is a thing, they are trying to take it over because you can't put a patent on a herb. So it's being chemicalized, and sometimes it's being cut in with Prozac and even heavier pharmaceutical drugs so that they could make money from it. So if this isn't your thing, just skip forward a bit.
Bags and things. And I wanted to do it as a business and sell people, you know, maybe a finished product ready to harvest, or maybe sell it to them when it's 3 or 4 weeks old. But honestly, I think it's quite hard to do business. I don't know if it's compounded by not being very well, so then that affects my ability to meet people and connect. And then all the connection then is done with these wicked things. I'm just going to put this in the other room. Although technically this is also a wireless device, I know these can affect the emotions like wouldn't be. They dial you up and they dial you all over, dial you up and dial you down. Really are nightmares.
I believe Yashi is a survivor, and it just resonates with me that she live streams a lot under her duvet, and a beautiful prophecy, because I always used to feel like if I could just get into bed under my duvet, I might be safe from paedophile assaults. And it's often a comfort. If I don't have a bed, even in my office or cabin, I have a bed, because if I get a sudden attack of CPTSD, I have to just get under the duvet. So it's just interesting to see Yashi cocooning in her bedroom. Should skip forward a bit here, but this is just raw, people. This is just my version of editing. I think I asked her when she comes back why I'm not. I was exhausted on this day. I think I'd done 3 uploads and walked the dog and done, lit the range, whatever. And then Yashi says, I'm here, and sent me a link. So I just jumped on.
Really? I'm so glad to connect. I got really sad because I've been working hard all day, and then you said Hampstead was a psyop. I do
No, Facebook.
Oh, okay, right, I misunderstood you.
No, I said Facebook was a massive psyop to gather everybody's psychological profiles.
Yeah, CIA. Yeah, definitely. And it was brilliant. It was genius.
Yeah.
Genius. You want to know where people are, who their friends are, what they're.
Evil genius. And then they used it. The reason why it's still going, lots of people get addicted to this kind of what I call online violence. I mean in the chat box.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Quite addicted to their online identity.
It's brought.
It's so true, and that I've been guilty of that too. I need to do a show about MK Ultra and Mean Girl programming, I'm calling it. But my sisters and I were highly skilled in it. My mother is, my niece is, any intergenerationally abusive families, but even more, people that may not have been abused, but have just been generically mind controlled for the last 70 years. There's this thing of going for the jugular, and online nurtures that. Trolling is now a high art. And there's something, it's like, it was also pushed in television with I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, or Big Brother, those kind of programs, where the honesty goes to a level that is brutal. And we brutalize each other in a way that we probably wouldn't do in real life. And I sometimes have to go no contact a lot of the time with my family. And even with my sister Fiona, whose death I want to vindicate, that it was a murder. I want to see justice for her in this lifetime. But even she and I gave an example of karate, free fighting, where our 9th Dan black belt teacher would command us to stop because the intensity of our fighting even scared him, even though we were both at the same level and both allegedly in the confines of a safe space at karate class. But there is that killer instinct. And this is also prevalent in the bases. People say, why do all the bases ex-interviewees, Miles Johnston's series, The Bases, why is there such bitch fighting and bitch fests and turning on each other? And I've been activated into this kind of behavior, and I hold my hands up for my part in it with people like Sandy Bergen, Christine Joanna Hart, many people online, that especially where the trolls have managed. The friendships I've managed to sustain are those with the friends I've kept secret online. Any that have hit the public eye usually end up in a bloodbath, a metaphorical bloodbath. And I will do a show about MK Ultra Mean Girl programming.
I spent about 3 hours this morning listening to a bunch of professional paid trolls, MI5 type people, and the viciousness that they go to. It's a bit like Big Brother or I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It's so no holds barred.
Yeah.
It's like it brings out You know that thing in people where people will watch a car crash or they'll like
rewatch things that
it,
I
or
think
horror
the
movies.
pornography industry, don't you, has it's these young, because I have some younger viewers in America.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. You don't look. I don't watch porn because I don't search for it. So you do have to be looking for it. But when they go in there, these younger ones, and I'm sure I would have done the same if I didn't have access to porn at 19, not on my phone. So they go and they see really horrific stuff, and I think almost quite rightly they're outraged. But what happens when
it's desensitized?
It spills over though, doesn't it? And then what you're talking about, this lot that are like employed, whether they're bots. I mean, did the same with Clinton race with. I mean, whether Trump seems to be a neighbour leader, but I wanted Bernie Sanders to win, and I think it was actually the Clinton administration quite heavily funding people to go into the social media spaces of that side, the Bernie Sanders fans.
And Obama, they said Obama won because of social media. He was the first politician to really harness social media, allegedly.
And just take the myth to make us all look really unstable or whatnot.
The thing is, Bernie Sanders appealed to a lot of people, but he took the payout that, like, he bought a multi-million-pound property very shortly after they sidelined.
Right.
So it's like, I think there's been a few good guys, but if they're not strong, you need to be brutally strong to exist in this world.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it, really.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can really go into politics. I don't think anyone can really go into politics and remain unadulterated by it. But with regards to Bernie, look, I think if you want $1 million house, that's how much it costs.
No, it's much more than that. It's much. He suddenly had about 53 million after he let Hillary knock him out as the.
Well, I suppose they must have given him hush money then.
They definitely did, yeah.
Mind you, I would have taken it, wouldn't you? Because if you think about it, you can't, even just Bernie Sanders, he's not going to be able to do a great deal against, have you heard Kathy's testimony, obviously?
Kathy.
O'Brien.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right, so even with best of the world, Bernie's not really going to be able to go up against that, and I think I would have taken the money, Angela.
I know what you're saying, and do you know what? I just say this, like, the one thing that made me really sad was Kathy O'Brien was so brave, and one of the videos she released was actually showing the mutilation of her vagina.
Oh, have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw it, but not just that. I then heard that Hillary Clinton absolutely got off on that.
She did, yeah.
Absolutely fucking
It's their face of a demon, isn't it?
It's disgusting.
How have they done that?
I've had similar mutilations done to me after giving birth.
Oh God.
Similar, but I'm not about to go and put it on a video after seeing what they do.
Show me your mouth though, so I can lip read, and I'm going to rip this box open.
What's going on? I can only see half my face. Can you see all of me?
No, I can only see half your face. So I think just camera angle.
All right.
It's just it's only because it's so underneath here I can see. What does that do? Yeah, there's that.
That's better. Yeah,
that's better.
There you go. I put it down because I've got nothing to hide.
No, but my first comments to you, Angie, were, forgive me, but I'm fairly sure you've got robust enough sense of humour and thick enough skin to not mind and laugh about it. I thought you were post. I do say what I see sometimes.
No, so many people say that, but do you know what's really tragic, right?
You're gorgeous, though. That's the stupidest thing about it. Is you are gorgeous.
But the thing is, I was put in MKUltra projects in the military from in the womb. And I was in military hospitals for the first 5 years.
Wow.
I didn't talk until I was 3. I was so traumatized.
Yeah.
And when I talked like a man from 3 years old.
Oh, okay.
They used to call me at 4 and 5 the whispering baritone, because they must have damaged my vocal cord. Yeah, they must. So
It could be evasion, actually. It could be evasion more than anything.
what does that mean?
Evasion, like you're maybe evading a certain part of your soul expression is a little bit cautious about showing itself, because it's what it's not like it's hidden, it's not obscured, but it's only a way that you feel comfortable to express yourself, I think. Maybe.
No, I hear what you're saying, because when I lived in London in the 80s, I used to do backing vocals in a band, and it was amazing, and we did really well. We got to Ronnie Scott's, and we did all the GLC in the park and all that stuff. But I remember I always used to sing in a deep voice, and I remember one of the people in the band saying to me, "No, I want you to sing like almost soprano." And I was like, that's not me. And he pushed me, and I was able to find those high octaves.
Yeah.
And
Same thing happened to me, actually, when I was about 19. I auditioned for Kensington Temple, Notting Hill. They used to have an arts academy, a one-year arts academy. Christians, the only thing was you had to pray in tongues, and at that point I didn't know how to pray in tongues, so they wouldn't let me on. And I smoked as well. So I went there to do an audition, and I still remember, it's clear as day, actually. I won't go into all the backstory. And I did this stupid thing where I was in service around there, and it's not very good acting. It's about apparently the service, and I had costume and everything. And they said, "Can you sing?" And I said, "No." They got me to sing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," and they just and gave me so much confidence, actually. And I was going la la la, and obviously at that point I had much less vocal damage. I mean, I carry a lot of fluid in my chest, and I can't sing that it's breaking badly. So I'm in a contralto type range, but originally it was the soprano range. Yeah. So I suppose most women can reach those higher things, but in some ways, who wants to go around sounding like a sort of affected kind of airy type? I don't know. But "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" is such a programming song. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, they let me sing that. Yeah. So, I know. I think I was about 12 when they had your history is amazing. Well, it's just MK Ultra. Well, under what guise though? Because there's MK Ultra's under a lot of guises. Okay, so I don't have any conscious memories of satanic ritual abuse, except for being hunted. I do have memories of being. Yeah. Well, we used to have a massive Easter egg hunt, but there was nothing. That was it in the because my dad's son was actually fairly innocent. So I was also wondering, about these hunts. We used to run through the woods, a huge group of kids. Total parallel. I'm sure, though, we're only doing a massive thing. That guy actually died, the man that always talked about died last year. See, the rituals get watered down. They get passed on amongst cousins and amongst pedophiles. Yeah. And so you can get a watered down version where you think you're just playing a family game. Yeah, I know. There was something about them. Like being tickled, when you're tickled beyond endurance. Yeah. And it turns into abuse. Yeah. So they disseminated. So, I have one very clear memory of being hunted, including by Lord Bramwell. And I do have haunting shit around satanic rituals, but I'm not going to go and say I remember ritual abuse, because I think those are still drugged memories, and I've never gone under hypnosis. But what I do know is that I was unconscious for years of my childhood, and that I had lost parts, and that my father, my grandfather, there's 5 generations of abuse, and there's all the markers of MK programming, and then I was trained as an asset, and I kept getting placed in places where I could spot it. Love the way you describe this, because firstly, up until you talked about 5 generations, and I haven't got any real history on my father's side of the family, you could have just been telling my story, you know, and I feel that there are reasons why these memories are kept back from us, like, and they're revealed in stages. And I have never pushed myself really to come up with stuff, you know. I've bought Kathy's book PTSD Time to Heal this year. I still have a few copies available to other people, post them. But I've not really finished it, and I just feel that I know enough, and there are so many testimonies where people really are very clear about what happened. I don't really want to push myself into a corner of my mind or my memory where I'm, you know, having to force myself to regain recollection, because some of it may be imaginary, some of it may be coloured by the stories that I've heard, some of it may be unnecessarily traumatizing. And I think ultimately, bones of the story are there, and I like the way that you describe these things as well, trained as an asset. These things are really pertinent. The way that we tell our stories are really important. Have you done much recent work around this, or are you purely sort of on the vocal side, or?
No, this is really something I don't understand. Like, I've done a degree in literature, and I've done a postgrad in journalism, and I used to do a lot of writing. But this stuff is so triggering for me that the only way I can get it out is to speak it. So I've done loads of videos, and I have written about 30 pages. Right. And I've had people in the past say, oh, write a book, I've done it, and this, that, the other. And I just find it so hard. I even have a weird fantasy. I think, right, if they get me in jail, well, then I'll write my book. And I don't want to go to jail. That's stupid, right? But I just feel like I need a ghostwriter, not because I'm not capable, but it's so triggering. It's a lot. It's so triggering. It's like...
This is Angela, and the only thing I think to say to you today, the only planned agenda I had was to say, I can't do this on my own. I'm actually now at the point where I'm not doing anything, because I cannot.
It's too crazy making, and we were, I don't know if you were subject to the same programming, but I know I was programmed that if I ever tried to disclose coherently, like in a book or something, you know, in a very logical, consequential, fact-proven way, that I would die. So even though I've broken my programming over and over and over again, but I haven't managed to get it together where it's like, here's my book, here's what happened. Do you know what I'm saying?
I was told that I was told by non-physical entities, so I don't have any recollection told this by human to human, but non-physical entities told me when I was 17, and technically, on paper, I was having a drug-induced psychosis.
Okay.
Paper. In reality, I was very conscious of the fact that I was not well.
Okay.
And so I had no delusions that I was fine. No, I was not. But
17 is a marker. I was ready to die at 17.
Do you think 17? Yeah, possibly. What's the half and half of 17?
17 and then 30. From my research and experience, 17 is a marker.
Oh, right. Yeah, I get you.
But just markers with...
Actually, I was only 16, actually, at this point.
Okay.
Oh, no, no, 17.
Tell me your story. I'm not recording, but I'm just curious.
Well, I'm recording, actually. Sorry, I want just to clarify, I was 17. And they told me that I would go to prison if I didn't perpetuate the abuse of my 2 younger sisters. They were half-sisters. They are still obviously half-sisters. And they were, at that time, 12 years and 14 years younger, which made them like 4 and 5, which was roughly that. They triggered me so bad. These poor little innocent children. And I used to wake up in the morning after about half an hour of shut-eye, terrified at night. I was suffering with terror. I was terrorized. I was psychotic in the sense that I'd taken far too much speed. My boyfriend gave me a lot of speed, and I was exhausted, and I wasn't well, but I knew I wasn't well. And actually, the first doctor that saw me didn't want to diagnose me with major psychotic disorder. He wanted to diagnose me with, I think, BPD, but didn't want to go to that extent to give me that thing, and never did. And then I pushed to give myself, like within the same year, I got myself a major diagnosis. And I say I got it myself because I self-diagnosed at 14. How convenient.
What did you diagnose? Because I was diagnosed at first with BPD.
I don't disclose because I can't. It fucks everything up.
And then after that, they wrote me a brilliant report on BPD due to unresolved child sexual abuse or child abuse.
Right.
But then about 2-3 years later, they said, actually, no, you're right, it is DID. But they said to me, we don't have anybody in Ireland that treats DID. Yeah. So then I reached out and I got help from America. And then I did loads of work and all the rest of it. And then they kind of said,
don't you have a fucking demon living down the road, actually?
Oh, listen, 10 minutes. 10 minutes away. Listen, it's all around here.
I'm nervous. I'll own up to it. I'm nervous about disclosing in my own backyard. But I think I'm going to have to get over that. And I'm just going to say this as a precursor. Dame Emily Napper is a descendant of Sir Francis Dashwood of West Wickham, the originator of the Hellfire Clubs, think satanic ritual abuse. And she tried to rebel against her, I would allege, SRA family, and she ran away as a teenager to Australia and got married and then came back to London and went squatting and did this whole rebellion thing. But I think she then reverted to type, and she has been domestically abused by her son, I have been credibly told, by somebody who was her lover. And it may be that she has gone back to the dark side of her ancestry. And Emily, if you're listening, I've got no ill will against you. I am praying for you. So I'll just go ahead and let this stuff come up again.
I've got SRA survived.
Jesus Christ, have you got a spare room? Do you want a lodger?
I've got a guest room, but I've promised my children that I will not bring my work to the home because they're so traumatized.
I don't know that there should be too many of us in the same place anyway.
Oh, no, you're welcome to a visit. I'll say that. I have got a
mum's down the road, you see.
I know you are welcome to come for a visit.
She's in Milltown Parks.
Well,
it turns out Yashi, who's from Hampstead, lives in Brighton. Her mum and stepdad live 10 minutes from me. We'll see. I do want you to come for a visit, Yashi. Do come. Well, pandemic permitting.
I go to Westmead to get my hair done. It's like 10 minutes up the road. It's just the next county. Yeah, it's weird. But I've had people disclose, do you know who lives like 10 minutes away? You've heard of the Hellfire Clubs, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So the Hellfire Clubs are elite satanic ritual abuse club. And Sir Francis Dashwood started them in, I think, the 19th century. And then they spread all over the world. And there was a Hellfire Club in Dublin, and there's still 3 running in Ireland.
Yeah, the name rings a bell now.
Hellfire, there's the Hellfire Caves in West Wickham. And it's got all this sort of ritual stuff.
Just all over the walls.
And so his descendant lived, her name is Dame Emily Napper, and she lived 10 minutes up the road. She employed my son for a while. My niece rented a place on her land for a year and a half until she discovered there was video cameras in the place that she was renting.
Honestly, for all I know, there could be bodies in my mum's muck. My stepfather drives lorries and has always done haulage, because the only evidence I've got of Malcolm David Alston online, who is registered at my mum's address. So he's registered at my mum's address, right? Both of us egging with our own stories. All I can say is that writing it down is really empowering. Don't have to write it down as Angela Howard Disney, the journalist. what you have to do is tell your story, and I recommend you do this to yourself, like verbalise it as if there was someone there, me, but I'll just annoying. And you've done your story, right? What you need to do is tell your story in 5 minutes or less when you are the victor. You give yourself all that permission to rewrite your story, retell your story in 5 minutes, and then write it down as and as your news, because you cannot do it as a journalist. Like same as me, I've got a degree in creative writing and theatre, and I'm trying to do it as a rap album. You try and tell men that you want them to help you make music with 40, you tell them to write a hip hop rap album. They don't help me.
That's a challenge. I'll take that 5 minute challenge.
Yeah, it's good. I did it, and there was someone that taught me to do it, and unfortunately I don't remember who it was, but they were of the lot of Donna Eden, that type of person. So yeah, don't go into that when they start going, oh, I'm gonna manifest, and they do their spiritual. Yeah, I don't like. But Donna Eden that does like sort of tapping people. I need to do more of this EFT and the whole thing where you take your polarities, balance physical exercise. See, I know what she does because did some of that at the same time, and it's obviously so powerful because that was the time.
I've had people say to me, do it.
Yeah, let's put this in comments.
And to be honest, I would, at this stage, I would go for hypnosis or regression.
Really bother. It's just not very effective. Not very effective. I've tried hypnotherapy, and from my research, for a limited research of what it says in my religion about hypnotherapy, they just said it's just not particularly effective. So there's a whole appendix stuff aside from the actual religious books to the Quran, and there are many. There's then books written by Abdul Baha expounding and explaining the teachings of Allah and other like passages in Revelation or Gospels or in Quran, like full on revelation, like bam. Like you wanted books, you got books. And then there's a whole, not appendix, but stuff done by Shogun Effendi. The appendix stuff would be like Pilgrim's Notes, like hearsay, witness accounts. But what I mean by appendix, as in it's not holy scripture, but it's so weighty because it's like you want to know about this, you want to know about that, you want to know about this, just bang up. So I spent quite a lot of time with that book also that year. And yeah, hypnotherapy just not particularly effective. And I went there to stop smoking, and I've got to be honest.
Yeah, no, I've done that stuff. I've even had that.
I know people that have done the regression stuff though, Angie, and I'm just like, I don't think it's helpful. I
want my memory. But the truth is, I can live without it. It's like I want the force.
I'll send you Kathy's book then, PTSD Time to Heal, because that's all about regaining memories. It's all it's about.
I just think they belong to me.
Exactly.
I just think that they're mine. Like that's my life.
Yeah.
You've got no right to block me.
Have you read The Body Keeps the Score, Angie?
No.
Okay, so that's where we've got living memories.
Cellular memories, definitely. Because there was this woman in about 2016, maybe 16, 17. She contacted me and she was a therapist. She said, I want to give you $250 worth of therapy as a gift, just to say thank you for everything you've done. And she said, I'll give you free, therapy, treatment, whatever. And she did this sort of Indian chanting and just very lovely. Right, I'm a Christian. So that's I used to be a psychic, do tarot and all the rest of it. I've had the Quran, blah, 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 but I'm a Christian. But I just felt like, no, it's a love gift from her. Let me go there. But she induced such cellular memories in me. I threw up for 40 minutes and then slept for 3 hours. And the only other time that happened was when a survivor called Nina Valentine, she filmed a ritual site in a forest in Yorkshire. Her granddad was a big elder guy, and she was a survivor.
What's her name?
Nina Valentine. Her YouTube channel is called Baseline Truth and Healing. She's gone offline, like she scared herself because she got trolled. She used to film.
That happened to me.
Oh.
That's just literally, I've just woken up from that. I can eat for a couple of days, okay? In fact, I've not eaten today, but that's another issue. And I just know if I don't take fluids, because I've got unconfirmed blame my entire life having fat chest, actually cystic fibrosis in the family on my dad's side, not my mum. So don't forget the mum's side is where the bloodline is.
Okay.
Ella is the bloodline. She's not
And how do you spell her name? What's the name?
My mum.
Yeah.
Gail, Gail. Ask anyone if they know Gail, and they'll just say Gail Sam. Gail Litz.
What's the family name?
So, well, my mum was adopted, so I don't know. Oh, of course I know. Stockwell. His father, Cyril Stockwell, is my grandfather. And my grandmother's name is Marjorie, and I have to look up her last name. I have a screenshot of it. But my mum was adopted as a baby in 1947, which means that she was Illuminati bloodlines, and that she's a breeding bloodline. And the reason why, because we have Ehlers-Danlos, which is a connective tissue disorder, which makes us easy to penetrate and also bend into obscure, horrible shape, and they put us in the circus in America with blacks, straw people, big, you know. And also because we have endometriosis, which obviously means you have really high pain levels, which means trauma with us, trauma programming, or you can get to the point where pain can actually just step outside reality. That's why.
Yeah.
But there's that. Yeah.
That's a thought. This lady that gave me therapy online with her Indian chanting and whatever, and then Nina Valentine finding a ritual sacrifice site in a forest. That's the only 2 times where I had cellular reaction, which is just like vomit, and then just pass out.
I think I know what she's done. She's done some ancestral work. That child.
It probably, but it's like the cellular memory. So if you can't remember with your mind, but you might have chronic back pain, or you might have chronic, you might have all these ailments, and they're not. It's not physical. A lot of them are not physical. Just like
I get it. It's one. Essentially, it's like it's just manifest.
Yeah.
Let me grab Catherine's book. I want to show you. And
there are people. Do you know there are people that say that Mark Phillips was still handling them?
Yeah, I realised this is a 2-hour recording. This was just our first connection. But it's deep, and for those that are interested in MK Ultra, trauma-based mind control, Kathy O'Brien, Hampstead, it just goes so it put the kettle on, or watch in half-hour slots. But this is for those that want to know. These are the victims, we're the victims, and there aren't too many deprogrammed enough to speak coherently. So I'm delighted to have connected with Yashi. Even though, and I'll say this, Yashi live streams, she's, I think, in the Guinness Book of Records for the longest live stream, 77 hours or something. She admits to having Tourette's. She will curse and scream. She identifies with the Baha'i faith. So like there's parts of me that kind of go, whoa, but to be honest, this is a fellow survivor.
Hang on, I missed the beginning of that because I unplugged my headphones.
Do you know that there are people that say that Mark Phillips was still handling?
Well, yes, I think that is true to a degree, but I don't certainly wasn't pimping her out to anyone. I mean, have the same story, but of course he was having to say that about anyone. You say that about your. I mean, that's the thing. And what did you say about this D-tube? Not D-tube, was it? Brand new tube. BitTube may be censored. Again, it's like maybe I don't know hearsay. But I'm really glad what direction it's going. Let's go back to what you were saying. You were talking about your cellular level.
Cellular body memories. You can have, like, for sure, if someone taps into that, then I can remember stuff. And I really liked what you said, that you don't want to go into imagined memories or plagiarized memories. Don't bring that back, but like you might have read it in a book.
Yeah, with the satanic stuff, with the memories I have, Angie, I'm glad you said that, because it doesn't bring. I've asked myself, or is that, you know, I get visual memories and stuff, and when I first got my flashbacks, there I had terrible sensory flashbacks, and then I was kind of haunted by those for a while until I joined High Faith. Actually, which is something I wasn't born into this family, so I chose for High Faith, but myself as 17, then I didn't join. I didn't know about it. When I joined, it set me free from that stuff. Just I think because I really wanted it. I'd achieved something that I really wanted. Do not sell. Look, Kathy O'Brien ×3 is all the time. This, so I can send you all of them. I do have some images of, like, maybe Freemason rituals, but I'm very cautious. I don't think there was bloodletting. I might have drunk some red wine or something, but I haven't got these horrendous things of being laid on. I have a memory of being laid, dream I had very young on a stone slab, but I don't have those horrendous orgy. Or, you know, I've heard them.
And I agree. And I think that if those memories are supposed to come to us, they will. But what we do know and what we do remember is so important. We should get it out now.
Yeah, I'm desperate. I can't, like, I have very little help here at Brighton. I'm all packed up.
Oh my God, you're in Brighton. Oh my God.
Tried to leave for Tunisia, and then I was told you have to come earlier because they're going to start testing everybody, and they knew I didn't want to take a test, and I felt that the tests could be spreading a disease, so I booked a flight, and then on Friday, and I got there on Monday, and they'd already brought it in. They were going to bring it in on Wednesday, and they bloody well brought it in on the fucking Monday.
I'm invited to Turkey on Sunday, right? Free accommodation. Just come on out, come stay for a week, stay for 2 weeks, whatever you like, right? But I know that when I come back, they'll probably COVID test me, or at the very least, they'll track and trace me. Yeah. So I said no.
I think right now, if anyone's going to move, they're either going to, I am prepared to move and relocate permanently, or move and keep moving. But the COVID testing, I'm happy to do it myself. I won't have anyone put that fucking.
I don't want to be tested. No,
then they're going to have to set that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have that put on my nose by someone. It's myself.
No. Tell me just in layman's terms, right?
What happened to me, or?
Yeah, and about your mum and dad that 10 minutes up the road.
Yeah.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, I am. Also, I will just say that my internet goes funny.
All right.
And I tend to, don't be annoyed with me if I'm interrupting, although just hold your own composure, because I've had it.
All right.
But these sessions, we can do them whenever you want. And you can always just drop me an email and say, hey, you know, can we go live? Can we go to the thingy? And I can set these rooms up. But they can also be as short as you like, you know, because I'm here all the time. And my biggest problem is helping the house. I've got no help.
I don't know how to put this recording. I don't know how to put it on my.
I can probably make them available to you at a later point if you want them on.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think you're okay. But if you're not, like, I'll only ever do it if you're mutually agreeable.
Sure.
But just tell me.
I think, I'll definitely get my consent.
I'm next door to West B.
Yeah.
I'm not scared at all.
I tell you that guy is so stupid anyway.
No, but listen, the Temple Tribune is everywhere where I live. Everywhere. It's one of the oldest Freemasonic lodges in the world. and we've got the descendant of the Hellfire Club. You know, anyway, look, just tell me your story. I'm going to be quiet.
Oh, okay.
But only as much as you want to. Only as much as you want to.
Okay. Try and be a little size. So my parent, I was born in Cancer. I was born of a royal breed. I was christened by my parents, and which, as far as they told me when I was older, that was they were pledging to raise Christian values. That's what my dad told me. Well, that was what. And they married when they were very young, so I think like they were 19. They didn't have sex before they got married. I think my mum was quite keen to marry. Having been adopted, I think that was probably part of that. But my mum grew up around here, so she was born in 1947. Gail Christina Biggins was the family that adopted her. Now that's really key because Ernest Biggins brought coffee into this country for American soldiers during World War II on the home front. That was his covert operation because we didn't commonly drink coffee in the UK in the 1940s. Elitists drank coffee, the aristocracy, lords and ladies, the members of parliament, they drank coffee, but the general would not have, weren't like her, at least, shops all over the place, discussing politics and whatnot. Men around the table with their cigarettes and their coffee. You know what it's like over in Middle Eastern countries, don't you? Because I've been to Tunisia and caused shock and horror ordering coffee as a woman in 2019. Not horror. And these poor guys are like, what do you want? But so anyway, back to track. My mum was adopted by Ernest Biggins, and I just don't really know very much about that side of the family either. We all got quite restrained, really. Following my parents' divorce, it's really acrimonious. They separated about 83, 84, so because I was born right at the end of 1980, you should really take my age. It's pretty much January the 1st, 80. Yeah, no help in the house. This is a real issue.
So hard to get help.
I have to tell you something. They're so noise cancelling. It's disorientating. I feel like I'm on my own.
No, you're not. I'm just staying quiet.
Oh. That's the journalist's.
No, but I'm not trying to manipulate you. I'm really not. It's because my instinct is to validate every point you say.
Yeah.
But it is, I know my story. I don't know yours.
I only want to try to make points which I think are relevant.
Okay, all right.
To the situation. So yes, Granddad and my grandma's name is Muriel Manning. She was a chauffeur on the home front. Taxi driver, I don't know. But they were very well. I don't know if they were actually really well off at that point in time, but after the war, according to my mum, my granddad was awarded a big financial reward for his efforts getting coffee into the UK. So apparently the American soldiers came over here and couldn't fight because they couldn't function. They didn't drink tea, they drank coffee. So obviously their caffeine supply went. So this is the story that I got from my mum in about 2007. He was given lots of money and then he invested it in art. So that's also an interesting kind of thing. The art scene is obviously documentation of paedophilia. I mean, I have, just as an aside to you, Angie, I have someone in places where I live stream. I go to other places to live stream, and I've done so much in the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It's ridiculous. I've just done loads. And unfortunately, a lot of those guys have deleted my stuff and they won't give me access to it. And as far as I was concerned, that was my promo. Because the point of my station on YouTube is that when my music comes out, I don't have to do jack shit. because like fans go and my stuff.
Yeah, you lost your archive.
I know what I'm doing. You know, to other people they might think it's stupid or crazy, but I do know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying. You know, I'm not a video editor. I'm not. That's not what I'm made for. Me, you know, these hands, these like, it's not anyway. But I'm on like phones like this all the time and have really very little normal social interaction, just out and about and labour. You know, it's not. I haven't actually drunk properly, been a drinker in like 10 years, 12 years. I quit alcohol. There was a lot of things that happened that caused me to regain. And I think probably in my head it is quite an easy story, but it does take an awful lot out, doesn't it? Because it's like,
this is why I haven't written a book. Like it's like write a book. I had a publicist in America in 2010, and she said, "I will set you up a 3-month tour. Just write a fucking book," you know. And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It's like
it feels a bit as well disgenuine, doesn't it, to be doing it for money, even though they just say that I'll support you, so you don't have to.
Yeah, she just did product.
Yeah, I understand. Look, I turned down. I had Blood Axe books wanting my professional poetry in 2009. It's all on my profile. I've updated recently. You know who Blood Axe books are?
No.
That's the biggest. Blood Axe books are the biggest publisher of contemporary poetry in the world, because they publish European and they publish English and they publish American. You will have seen real. These guys, the actual editor Neil Astley wanted. You've seen this book? Ooh.
No, I'm not. My eyesight's gone bad. I have a literature degree, but like my eyesight's gone bad.
Well, they're contemporary though. So it depends what your literature thing was.
Yeah,
Blood Axe.
in the 80s. Yeah, back in the
Look.
80s. Staying alive.
So they wanted my stuff back because I self-published online anonymously as the White Rabbit 2008. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it got 10,000 hits, my poetry collection. But it wasn't really to do with Hampstead, but it was, and it was just.
Tell me about Hampstead. If you don't mind, you lived in Hampstead.
Yes, I was born in Hampstead, 1980, at the Royal Free. Do you know Hampstead? Have you been to Hampstead?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so I was born at the Royal Free. I was born 28th of December, about 5:30 Sunday. I was third of my parents' kids, and apparently my dad didn't want to have me. My mum had gained weight. My dad was dead fanatic water power from being overweight, and my dad was a Freemason. So at that point, by the time I was born, Dad made loads of money in Hampstead because he used to run the estate agency on the corner. You've got the train station opposite, and now you've got Chesterton's. Now up to 2020, there's on the other corner, other side of the road, there's Chesterton's International. The last job my dad had was the CEO of that company, and he used to do on them. It's in the papers because they were underselling, they were not disclosing to the shareholders that they were underselling. They had a higher offer, they were underselling, they hadn't disclosed it. So my dad blew the whistle, and him and his partner Mike Bax got into a lot of trouble. They lost their jobs, and just so because they said they're never going to work again, dismissal, they took Chesterton's to court and won. And then Chesterton's appealed, and they were going to get millions. And then Chesterton's appealed, and for some reason the appeal was granted, and an interim filed for bankruptcy, and Dad and Mike Bax never saw a penny. But my dad was in Hampstead for years. My dad had an estate agency on the corner and going to work and sitting there in a big green massive desk and a green leather top. And I just thought, oh, my dad comes and sits in here all day. I didn't know I was super young. Had my ears pierced on that shop in Hampstead. Louis, we used to go to Louis, and I don't like marzipan. My Phillips are. I had no idea what happened to Phillips. I mean, that's my brothers, and of course I know where they are, but I mean, one of them today works with Malcolm in the college. It could legitimately be an equine industry, and I'm sure they do move horses around Europe, but I'm just saying there could be a few bodies on that muck heap at my mum's yard. Because Malcolm's not to be trusted within a fucking millimetre. Don't give that guy nothing. And he's so horrible to my mum. She's the loveliest woman.
I have to say it, Yashi, you gave me your mum's number and encouraged me to get in touch and hope that Malcolm wasn't there when I phoned. But like, oh my God, bodies on the muck heap. And yet my own family are possibly in the exact same circles.
You love my mum, Gail. Everybody knows Gail. So you can drop in there most times, because a lot of the time it's not there. She just drop in. She has loads of dogs and she's so lovely. And she just say to her, I'm a friend of your daughter.
Oh, really? Wait a minute. My family have neck fine. Like, my family have equestrian centre.
In Ireland?
Yeah.
Well, they'll know my mum then. They'll know Malcolm.
Of course they
But
will.
no one likes Malcolm. Trust me, no one likes Malcolm.
Who is Malcolm? I'm sure my family know him. This is where it gets scary, people, because it's local.
I know.
I know you're recording, but do you want to tell me the last name? Malcolm what?
Orton, O-R-T-O-N. It's not going live though. This is not being broadcast anyway.
No, that's okay.
No, I've already reported him to the police so I spoke to Camden Authority, special unit, in 2015, 15, my daughter was taken. When they took my child.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And then there was a whole incident with a CIA psychoanalyst came to stay with me. And some little agitator that we sent to occupy the rest. Got really a whole different thing.
What age is your daughter now?
6.5 today.
Oh, God. See, this is how they disable beautiful, disclosing women, is they steal their children.
Oh, so
Well, the thing is, she's gone to just a normal family, as far as I know. So, it's horrifying.
It is.
But I can't, like, right, we're meant to talk, I know we are.
Yes.
Because Westmead's daughter to me, there's a equestrian connection. My family, if you look up after we've spoken, Rainbow Farm, or the Ballymacad Hut.
Oh, the Ballymacad. Okay, yeah, my mum was. Yeah.
Yeah, my sister was secretary of the Ballymacads for about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll know each other, and I'm sure that Dominic, he's 5 years older than me, and then there's Philip, who's 2 years older than Dominic. And Philip had property, in fact, still owns property at top of Thurlow Road. I think they're number 19. Top flat.
Thurlow Road, where's that?
Hampstead. And the reason that I've not done a lot of digging into Hampstead and Hopestead and whatnot was firstly because my child, and I didn't know about Pizzagate until this year, 2020.
Wow.
That's why I never identified GHISLAINE. As soon as I saw that, I went, oh my fucking God. That's the woman.
Right, so Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. Sorry, I'm triggered.
That tried to abduct me. That's the woman that was doing yoga.
Oh my God. Ghislaine Maxwell tried to abduct Yashi from a yoga club in Hampstead. Literally, I need to timestamp this. That's the woman that tried to abduct me. Those were Yashi's own words at an hour. Wow.
Class.
No.
Oh my road. My mum was identified the air. She said that's the bottom of Pittsburgh's road on the right. So I look it up and it's still there. Oh, yoga. Yeah.
And, oh my God, right, I've got to ask you something, right?
Yeah.
Because connected to the Hampstead case is Belinda Mackenzie, who is alleged to be MI5, and Sabine McNeill, who's currently serving 9 years in prison, and hot yoga. And Ella Gariva, who's the Hampstead mother, who used to teach facial yoga, and all the stuff.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's great.
Yeah, I think it is. But the yoga thing is a huge connection.
Well, it's been terribly misused by the old Epsteins. They plagiarise everything, Angela. These Satanists plagiarise everything.
Because Belinda Mackenzie, her father was a professor of physics at Oxford University, and he was a psychiatrist at Tavistock Union. And I'm starting to dissociate a little bit.
That's all right. This connecting, I think it is the grounding. I think the thing you were telling me about the cellular transit.
No, something told me about yoga that just really triggered me. Belinda Mackenzie, hot yoga. Oh, her daughter, she's got a daughter who is diagnosed with schizophrenia, so on and so forth. She's just like, and
you might be having some empathy with me because I'm quite high. I just had a split like when I started the pool, and I'm going to have another one. So it can just be me.
It's not really, it's the hot yoga connection. Because Belinda Mackenzie's daughter, who I think is called Tizzy, and schizophrenic, and Tavistock told Belinda she's been satanically ritually abused in childhood, and Belinda's like, oh, I can't imagine where, and I can't imagine how, and I have no idea.
Who's this Belinda person?
I think she's number 3 in MI5, and and I think and I know that she tried to spearhead. She's trying to set up a political party in the UK called Children First. But her daughter used to be forced to go to yoga classes in Hampstead. And she
at the same time? The same?
Well, I don't know, but she maybe 5. Wow. Yeah, and she used to Tizzy Mackenzie.
And now they call her schizophrenic. That's a horrible thing.
She used to beg not to be sent to hot yoga. She used to say, I don't like it, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And her mother used to
I think it was run by Glenn.
Glenn
Max.
And who is Glenn? Who is it? Oh, you mean Glenn?
That's why this is such a big fucking problem for me.
Wow. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's not
full circle. Mum. Mum. That's full circle.
Oh my. It is time for us to say, because Ghislaine is locked up. Ghislaine is locked up. Epstein is either dead or wherever. Yeah, he might be in Israel or
we don't know. I think there's all different opinions, isn't there? The Q people, they say that he's. I heard that a lot of people were arrested, the Obamas, and a lot like.
Yeah, I heard all that. This one's been executed. That one's been cloned. Blah blah blah. I just can't be dealing with it. Do you know what I mean? I want to know. I want to know what we can prove and what we can change.
Yeah, facts. Yes, that's really well put, actually, Angie. What we can prove, what we can change.
I'm so triggered by hearing you say that Ghislaine Maxwell was involved with yoga in Hampstead. That's blown my mind.
100%.
Blown.
Because then my mum divorced my dad and we moved out with them. So there was a separation about 1994. Then we started going to these yoga dance things, children's thing. And on one day of the week, we would go to theatre, because in the yoga classes, all I remember doing was repetitive cat and dog poses. And then I found this shit online from around the same time in the 80s with these women in their, with their permed hair, and they were doing like the cat and dog pose like this, like, boom. And I was like looking at it, it's not yoga, because I've done some beautiful yoga classes where it's all about just going through these things with your breath, and you're not elsewhere, you're not dissociated. The whole point is to come into your center, and where is that muscle? You construct that muscle, and then you're following a slow movement with breath, and you're aware, and you're not channeling anything. There's yoga and there's Maxwell yoga. It's different. Yeah, and you can take the same, you can just take that hatha yoga, that hatha breathwork yoga, and turn it into something disgusting. It's very much depends, I think, on the teacher. It's much like you've got one book, the Bible, the Holy Bible, you put it in the wrong hands and it's going to come out wrong. So that's why with that stuff, because I have a lot of respect for it, as I'm sure you do, the older ancestral religious roots that we have history, still have. Remember, we've been told we've been here for 6 million years, in the beginning was Adam. Yes, in the beginning is Adam, but there's also millions of years of religious history. We have no idea about it. We have no record of it. We have some wonderful remaining texts like Gita and even Buddhist wisdom things and stuff. But that stuff was a long time ago. Still, even what we have records of.
I can't get my brain around millions of years.
What it means is it's like now people say, oh, Buddhists don't believe in God, or people believe in multiple gods. And I'm saying I don't. So I think it's all fundamentally one thing, where there's one God, Father, as the Jews call him, Mother God, whatever you want. But I just so for clarity that I believe in one God, and I don't care what we call themselves, Christian or Muslim, as long as they actually are. You seem to me to be genuine. When you say you're a Christian, it's not like that's how you live your life. And my mum is the same. My mum's also.
But and I don't believe that the Allah is the same God and Buddhist, same God. But it doesn't matter. I don't know.
I get it.
But I want to tell you that the literal translation of the Holy Spirit is the holy breath. So
that's salvation, to breathe. Yeah.
Breathe. And this is why I can't breathe. It's a mantra trying to put on us. And this is why they're trying to mask us out so we can't breathe.
So evil.
And this is why they're trying to attack the respiratory.
Angie.
Breathing is so important.
Angie. Maybe help your ring. You feel disassociated because your ring is so, yes, you have a coral one, is it? And what's that, sapphire?
Well, one is the Diana. It's the Princess Diana.
No.
And the other one is just red. People say
coral, I think. It's coral.
People say to me, you can't wear those because you're triggering people.
No,
I don't care.
You're not triggering anyone.
Yeah. But look,
and the trigger word is.
Yeah, Ruby. Trigger
word is trigger, apparently. I've got to own principles.
Oh, I hate that.
What are we going to do now? It's been 1 hour and 10.
Yeah, I've got to go. I've lit the range. I've got to see the dog and do some stuff. Okay. But I'm really glad we've connected, and I think we should do it more.
Yeah, we will do more to be continued.
Yeah, because I really want to get down the next one we do, which will be tomorrow or the next day. I really want to get some, like you challenged me. Right, I think I'm going to stop this now because it's 1 hour and 11 minutes. But there is another almost hour. Yeah, there's like another 50 minutes. So I'll do a follow-up video to this. But just mind-blowing. I'll just read the notes I made. Referencing Kathy O'Brien, Hillary Clinton, genital mutilation, MK Ultra, terror, the nappers, borderline personality disorder, Baha'i faith, Nina Valentine, and Hampstead. And then I made one more note. Ghislaine, quote unquote, Ghislaine Maxwell tried to abduct me from Arc Yoga in Hampstead. So that's enough for today, and I'll do the follow-up. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Yashi, and we will continue. And forgive me for just taking my time with this. It's a bit mind-blowing. Check the links in the description. I will put a link as well to Yashi's YouTube channel. And look forward to the next chapters.